Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to look at a new Docker feature, which is the Docker model runner. So if I run Docker desktop right here, so first of all, you have to have Docker desktop installed in the latest and greatest version. So press the update button so you can get the latest one, and then you have to go to settings, and then under the beta settings, then you have to enable the new Docker model runner. So let's see what happens if it starts up one day. Docker desktop. That is. So, so first of all, this models menu item that I have right here, you will not see that until you have pressed the little gear button right there. So you press the gear button, and then you'll see, first of all, software updates should be updated, of course, and then you can restart it. And when you're done with that, then you can go to beta features, and then you can tick off enable Docker model runner and also enable host-side TCP support, because then you can actually communicate with this Docker model runner. The whole trick with this Docker model runner is that usually when we start some large language model, then we have to write some boilerplate code in order to start it up. With this approach right here, then you can actually just point directly to the model, and then it will actually be started up. With the boilerplate code will actually be run for us. We don't have to think about it. And with this approach, you can also mix it with the Docker in a Docker Compose file, so that you can start up a runner. You can start up a model. The model will run. It is run actually on the machine directly. It is not containerized as we are used to. So it is using the GPU, the CPU, and the memory directly on the host machine. But there is still a model running, so that you can still see it, and we'll have a client just like with the Docker client, and we have a Docker model client instead that we can use, and then we can see what's going on and what's running. And it also enable GPU-backed inference, and that's actually it. When you're done doing that, then you will get this menu item in the left side right here with models. And here you can go to and find models already at Docker Hub. You can also find them at Hugging Face. You can just need to log into that repository. You can also use your own local repository. You just go to Docker Hub, and then you can click on the one that you want. And as you can see right here, I've already clicked on the Gemma 3N, which is from Google. So then I can press play right here. I could also have chosen a new one, of course, and then I would just say pull. And then afterwards, then I could say play right here. So let us just run one model right here. Then I can just start asking it questions. So it is actually running right now. And I can interact with this with the OpenAI API. So that means that there's a REST API where I can just call it with REST commands, and I can get streamed responses. That means that then I will get them as soon as the model has something ready, then I will get the response, or I can wait for it to create the response and complete the response before I get the whole thing back. So let's see how to do that. So I'll just ask something. What is the meaning of life? Maybe it's 42, just like in the Hitchhiker's Galaxy. But let's see what it actually answers right here. I'll maximize it so we can see it better. What does it say right here? Age-old question. It comes with a long... Actually, I'm going to stop it right here, because whenever we ask it something, like, then we need to say that it should be maximum 50 words or something like that, because else it will be a very, very long... explanation we get. So why is the sky blue? Use maximum 50 words. Let's see what it says right here. The sky is blue. It's called Rayleigh scattering. So that is because sunlight hits air molecules, and blue light scatters and more than other colors. So that is the reason of that. When did dinosaurs start to fly? Use max 50 words, or maybe 40 words. Dinosaurs didn't start to fly. Only birds are Only birds are modern dinosaurs. While some dinosaurs had feathers and gliding adaptations, true powered flight evolved in birds around 150 million years ago. So that's cool, and we can see that it works, and we get the response streamed back. That's awesome. So how does it work? What can we do? We can run a Docker model client. Here we can see Docker model, and then just enter Docker model. So here then I get some help right here. And of course you can also use git bash, or you can use your favorite client. Also Power Tools, of course, is supported. Any terminal that you want. So here we say Docker model, and then we can say PS to see what is running already, and then we can see that we already have one running right here. This is the one that we already have running. So let us go stop it. So I'm going to delete this one right here. Delete the model. Okay, the whole model was deleted now. I just want to stop the session actually. I just want to stop the model, but let us run again. So Docker model PS mode completion. So it's actually done. So that's fine. So then we say Docker model, and then we can say run, and then we can come with a name of our model. Of course, I could use the same model as we just had before. AI. But now let us just use the small one right here. Small M3 like this. So, and now we can just write something like how old is the oldest woman? And maybe we should use, then the response comes. It takes some time before the response comes, because in this approach right here, then it will actually stream all of it. So now it comes right here, 122 years old, and a lot of blah, 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 because I should have limited the response to maybe to just to 10 words. But that's fine. You can see that it works right here. So we can ask about something else. Is football fun? Max 10 words. We'll also say maximum 1 word. In 1 word is football fun, then it should be yes, of course. Yes, football is fun with excitement, teamwork, and crowd energy. Okay. Thank you very much for all of those cool answers right there. So now we'll write bye, and the model stops. So the cool thing with this approach is that now we can actually, in our Docker Compose file, then we can mention a Docker. We can mention a model that we want to run, and then we can also mention the Docker image that we want to spin up that then accesses and uses this model. This is really powerful, because then we can write Python code, and this is an example of the Python code that we can place inside the Docker image. That means that we can create a Docker image, or we can have multiple images, of course, that actually uses these models, and it's just much easier. We save a lot of boilerplate code. If you have ever tried to write code that actually starts up these LLMs, then you know that there are a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and you have to check is the GPU available, is the CPU available. In this situation right here, it uses the GPU automatically if it's available, and if you go to NVIDIA system. Here we have it. So here we have the GPU usage right here. GPU usage 40%. Let's just go back to the terminal, and then let us start up a new model, and then we say where did it all start? With the Big Bang. Question mark. And let us see. Then we should see look at the GPU. Now it goes up to 90%. And that's because it actually knows how to use GPU. That means that we do not need to install the usual drivers. Usually we would have to install the Cuba driver, and so that's also a huge bonus side right here. We don't have to install that, and of course Mac is supported, and Windows and Linux, and and NVIDIA for GPU is installed, is supported. So that's quite cool. Here's a long, boring answer. Of course, we don't care about the answer right now. We just care about how to use the technology. So I say bye again. Now I go back to my Python code right here. And I have created, so let us just click, this is from an earlier session right here, close all tabs. Then I'll go to my model runner. Look at this model runner right here. So this template right here can be used every time. It doesn't matter which model that we're running. You just need to send a REST message, a HTTP message with a payload. So you're posting a payload with a model name in it. So we have the model name right here. And then we have this URL right here. The URL right here, it is localhost. It's port 12434 if you did not change it. Of course, if you change it to something else, then you have to change it to that. And then we have the engines and then the LLM, the .cpp, and then we have version 1. Besides that, all of the next stuff, that depends on what you want to run and what kind of model that you're running. If you're running an LLM, then it will be something with chat completions, for instance. That's where you will get your chat completions. You can find the documentation for all of this at the OpenAI API documentation. If you go to look at the OpenAI documentation, then this follows that, and you can, and the payload right here also follows the documentation right there, so you can add more stuff. In the messages right here, we're providing us a role, which is system, and then the content, you are my assistant. It could also be you are my weather forecast person. And then that means that then now the responses that we get, they will be adjusted a little bit so they match the role of that person right there. You can also add, if you want some more creative answers, then you can also tweak it and actually say that you want some answers that goes a bit more, that deviates from the standard more than usual. You can set that parameter, that setting also in the payload somehow. I actually don't know how, and of course I could look it up, but I will skip it for this week, for this video here at least. But you can add a lot of, you can tweak it a lot. It uses the OpenAI standard API. Okay, so here we have, this is the way that we use, the way that we send a request with Python, the most easiest way. One of the ways is to use the requests library and framework, and that's what I use right here. So I say requests, posts, and then it's quite easy. You give the URL, you can say here's the JSON. We want to stream it? No, we just want it when the answer is done and it's ready to show. And this line is quite important because we want to wait. And then when we're done, then we print out the response down here, and if there anything goes wrong, then we catch the exception and then we print it out, and we have a main runner right here. Let us try to run it and see what actually happens. Oh yeah, okay, so enter your prompt right here. So here we are typing in the prompt, and that could be something like how to grow basil from dying or used basil plants. I just saw that video actually. It's actually quite easy to grow more basil. Okay, so not actually complaint. That's because the model is not running. So let us go to Docker right here. Here we have the model, and let us just let us try the small model. So we press play, go back to our code, run again. To your prompt. I have to write again. How to grow basil from used basil plants. Oh yeah, I should have written. Okay, what does it say right here? There are no completions. Maybe that is because I need the. Let's just go to models, Docker Hub, and let us find the GMR3 right here. Let me see. Play. Could also run it out. Maybe I should run it actually out in the terminal. Let me do that. I'll run it out in the client just to make sure that. So it's AI GMR3 and latest. Okay. Let's try that one. So we say Docker model run AI GMR3 3 and latest. So now it's being pulled. It takes okay. It takes a bit because it's like 3 gigabytes, but it should not be that long, of course. So okay, now it's there 3 gigabyte, and now it's started up right there. Let us run the code and see if it works. Again, test. See what happens this time. What did it? It doesn't really. Okay, it's a long. Yeah, it's right here. Let me know. So it gave us an answer, but yeah, we can try to run again. Let us try to give it a real question. Which color do I get if I mix blue and green? Max 10 words. Okay, so here's the cool part. It actually gives us a REST response back right here. So it gives us actually gives us some choices, and of course actually I think we will only get one choice per default. We'll get the one with the best prediction. But let us see. Yeah. So but again you can tweak it so you get more answers, so you get more versions of the answer right here. So you get teal or turquoise when you mix blue and green. Okay, that's quite cool. So thank you very much for that answer. And again, this you can see how easy it is. We almost don't have any code. We have a payload that we have to send, and that's actually it. And then we have the model name. Of course, this was Gemma. This was for the Gemma 3N latest one. This URL right here, it might vary slightly for other models actually. It also depends on what kind of model it is that you're running, but this is for LLM that we saw right here. So that's actually it. That's what I want to show tonight. So you go to Docker Desktop. I will not show you the Docker Compose file. Maybe I will. Docker Compose. Actually, we can let our engine generate that actually. So if we want a Docker Compose file, give me a Docker Compose file which starts up, which uses a Docker model runner and starts up a Gemma 3N model and starts a Java-based Docker image. Let's see how smart it is. So let us see if it can give us a compose file like that. Yes. There it is. There is the YAML file. The problem with this answer is that YAML uses tab indentations or spaces, and that means that it is not formatted correctly. When I take this and copy it into my code, then but you can kind of see the idea right here. So we have some. Let's just see it. Let's just see it when it finishes. But it actually it has a model right here. We have a model runner and right there. I'm not sure it actually gives me the right end answer. Let me just delete this or stop this answer right here. Model runner. Yes. And I have an example right here, so I'll copy that. This is from Docker's own web page. There's nothing secret in this. It's from Docker. Docs.docker.com, and here we can see if you want to start up a model and say that we need this model right here to run, then we do it in this section of the Docker Compose file right here. And here we have the services. So this could, and of course this name right here, that is what you choose yourself. This could be Mike's app, and then this is the image. That is the image that you want to start up. And inside this image, then you could have your Python code or your Java code or whatever code that actually uses the model. Because this code right here, it interacts with the model through the REST API, so then it does not matter, of course, what kind of language you write it in. And then you have the models right here that you wanted to connect to it, and then you can just run localhost, and then they're actually the same URL that we just had before, and then you should get your answer. So that's how easy it is, and this is a really cool feature. And it should, if we ask the model. If you ask one of the LLMs on when it will be released, then it's like within a year. But of course, we never know. We never know when it will be released. That is actually it. Thank you very much for all of your comments, and it's okay to come with stuff for discussion, and also to come with corrections. Of course, there was one person that asked. Whether it be okay to start a discussion in the comments. Everything is good. It's good for the algorithm. The more activity there is, the easier it will be to find this video right here. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great evening, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.